Good evening, everyone. We'll now go into session. E, reconvene to open session. We need to note that Mr. Cito Calderon arrived at 6:20 today. All right. Oh, is it 5:20 or 6? 5:20? 5:20. All right. All right, to close session. F, announcement of action taken in closed session. None. G, comments from the public. The board will now take any and all comments from the public related to any of the items on the agenda or any other item of district business that is not in the agenda. We do have 3 requests. The first one is from Jose Guillen.
My name is Jose Guillen, and I would like to ask a question the board about, I think it's J24. Why, I want to know why is that action has been want to be taken, so I know the reason to see how the board is going to do the action for that, because they want something in there from that I want to. I'm sorry, I'm nervous right now, but I want to know what it is that they want to do with that, the overtime. Why do they want to take it away from certain people? I don't know if you can answer me right now. Nobody knows or what?
Oh, so we can't answer that.
That's what I'm saying, but I want to know maybe later or what's going to happen.
Well, we're going to be discussing it when the
Right.
time comes. So.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, that's it. And the other thing was just a simple thing. Why did they cut the tree over there in the MNO? The one that was over there, the MNO, in front of MNO, they cut it. I mean, we're supposed to be growing trees. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guillen. The next request is Cecilia Herrera.
Good evening, board members, Ms. Superintendent. I have some handouts, if I can pass them down. I don't know, I haven't. Thank you for letting me speak. I just want to make this quick. I'm also nervous, so forgive me if my voice is shaky. I came to speak to you about a concern I think that a lot of parents, teachers, and frankly, all of us have. It has to do with the excessive heat we live in. No one's fault, it's just what it is. But my concern is every year the group of parents stand around and say the same thing, and everybody wants to say something but doesn't, so I'm going to try to be brave and take this chance to do that. It has to do with the water situation with our small ones. If you see it, if some of you have a copy in the graph that I printed out, if you look at how the graph shows here, how it's printed out, I looked up July's high. The highest we went was 121, low 106. In August, up to date, the high has been 112, low 106. If you look in that graph, we are already in danger, pushing extreme danger. We're not even in extreme caution or just caution. We're already beyond that. And I know that's just where we live. It shouldn't be so much of a surprise. We are in the valley. But here comes my concern. I know that there has been improvements with the water fountains. There's been I don't know how to explain a bit, coolers or things. I know that there's been things like the principals have opened up the gyms, and I'm thankful for that much. The problem comes when you're talking about 3rd grade and younger, and I used to work at the preschool, so even the preschool age, is that the reality with young children, they don't understand that they need to drink water. They don't understand what the symptoms of heat stroke is. Heat exhaustion. They don't know that. They go to school, sadly, to say for recess. It's not even to learn. They just want to go socialize, and we can't blame them because we were all there, right? The problem is, speaking with other noon duties, they're also concerned about this. Teachers also, there's only so many of them. They can't go to the field and see these hundreds of children. I don't even know it's hundreds. I may be exaggerating, but a bunch of children, and they can't eye the signals, and nor are they experts to do that. And we can't. And I, as a parent, cannot put that stress and blame on a teacher. If my child were to get sick, I can't do that. They're not there to just medically check our kids. But the reality is, a lot of them do suffer from this, or can. And you're looking at the weather; things are just getting hotter around here. So my solution to not just bring a complaint to you, right, or concern, is that if you turn the page, some of the information I got you, that I printed for you, I'm sorry, is things that we can do. I think it's important to also let the parents know, put it on the parents, maybe get some handouts out in the beginning of the year, telling them, don't send them with so much heavy clothes, get them that lighter clothes, maybe allowing the hats. I don't know if the school rules are that they can take hats to school, but maybe we can push these things. And also, I know that speaking to some noon duties, they told me that they were either trained or at least got some kind of info about how to identify some of these symptoms. I know I'm thinking of noon duties, teachers must also know this, right? The problem is, do the parents know? Likely, I don't think it's that these children wake up in the morning and automatically, hey, drink some water before you go to school. The percentage of them don't even have breakfast. And if they're out there playing and they're sweating their little bodies out, some of them go out there till they pass out. What do? If there's any teachers here, I think you'll back me up when you say it, because I've seen this. They wait till that bell rings, they rush the water fountains, and now you have like 20 kids trying to get water before they got to get in line. And because the noon duties are trying to do their job about getting them in line, this is what we see. 1, 2, 3, next. 1, 2, 3, next, right? Keep going, keep going. Tell me how much water do you think those kids are getting per child before they go get in line, go into the classroom, and go another 2-3 hours before lunch, where maybe they drink a milk pouch, maybe, and then go back out and sweat that out. If you look at the symptoms that I have here of heat exhaustion, you're talking about extreme sweating, dry mouth, fatigue, headache, nausea, dizziness. That's about me getting to my car right now, just the walk. I'm going to be experiencing that probably right now. Imagine kids out there.
I don't want to cut you off, but we have a long agenda, and your time's up. Can you wrap it up, please?
Okay, I'll wrap it up with this. What I would like to ask is if you would consider water bottles for the children. Maybe we can have school ones, each kid like designated in the classroom. If not disposables, maybe school ones that they can even have there all the time. So the teachers are going to say they don't want to allow them to go in and out of the classroom. Okay, then have them there. Just to October, maybe, just till we get through this heat, but at least third grade and younger. We get them used to drinking water. You won't have to worry about when they're older. They'll know that they have to always be hydrated. That's my concern.
Thank you.
Right,
We'll have Ms. Somebody's follow up on this.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you have all the cool school principals here, too, behind you, so I'm sure they heard you. Thank you. Next request, Benjamin Horton. Yeah. Where's Mr. Horton? Pardon? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Quaz. No, sir. H, consent agenda, all items appearing will be acted upon one motion without discussion unless the item is pulled for separate consideration.
Mr. President, I would like to pull H4.
H4,
Yes.
Ciro Calderon. And,
So I'd like to make the motion to approve with.
well, I'd like to pull also H5.
Okay, all right.
So go ahead and,
So I'll make the motion to approve H1, 2, and 3.
motion by Ciro, second by Romero. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. Okay. You got H4?
So
Go ahead, trustee Calderon.
who can talk to me about this? I mean, I read it.
This conference is put on by, it's a National Association of After School and Summer Learning. We have Ms. Limon, Ms. Yanez, and we coordinate the summer school the last 2 years that I've been in the district. And the number of students that we serve compared to the number of students that are enrolled in school is kind of, during the school year, is a very low. At Migrant Summer School, we had about 80 students that attended summer school. In Blanche Charles, the EL program, Enrichment Academies, we had approximately 300 students, and these two are for elementary schools. So when you consider how many students are not in school during the summer months, and if you look at the research behind the summer, excuse me, I'm nervous too, the summer learning loss. So between the months of June and July, kids in high poverty areas, instead of, they lose what they've learned during the summer. If you go to more affluent areas, then parents can take their kids to museums and trips, and so they continue learning when kids in like Title I schools like ours, they don't have those opportunities. So the goal of going to this conference is to see what other schools are doing to increase the number of students enrolled in summer school. After school funding, the ACES grant, we do have supplemental funding. Every elementary school, except for Cesar Chavez and Enrique Camarena, they receive money for supplemental programs, which can be summer or intercession. And so because funding is becoming so tight and they're really looking at the quality of programs and looking for where to cut money from sites, they're going to start looking more at summer school, the quality of a summer program, and the enrollment of students in summer school. So going to this conference would allow us to see what other districts are doing, how are they joining with other community agencies so that we can serve more students, make it more fun, and provide more services to our kids during the summer.
You have other questions?
So it's
Tristan?
you, Ms. Limon, and
Ms. Yanez.
That was the question I have, but I have one more question. Unless you're done, Trustee Calderon.
and Maria, why are we renting a car? Didn't we
That's the
just
second.
buy
Yeah,
plenty of cars?
I know in the past, when I've gone to conferences, I rent or I borrow or I try to book a district vehicle, but because students have priority for the vehicles here in the district, sometimes they're pulled at the last minute, and we ended up renting a car. So just for us to be safe in case that there are any events during those, it's in October, late October, sports, whatever, those vehicles are available for student use, and then it's 3 of us and we can drive. So that's the reason for the rental. But we have no trouble.
Well, we have the small edge with the one that fits 4 people, so I don't understand why. So my recommendation would
I
be-
think, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think what they did is they put it in here, in the event that they do have to rent, it's already there.
That's what I was gonna say, that's what I was gonna suggest. So
Yeah.
in the event that doesn't happen, or that we have students having to go out, that's fine. But if not, let's try to use the cars that we already paid for.
That is not a
That's
problem.
That's what we bought those cars for. Of course, you're not gonna take a van,
No.
but if the van is available, well, why not take a van?
Okay.
But, so, that was, Mr. President, that was my question.
well, those were exactly my questions too.
Okay.
Since you already answered them, that's all I have.
Okay.
It was the rental and who was going, because there was no information on the item.
So I move to approve this.
Moved by
before-
Calderon, second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. H5,
What?
Mr. Nielsen, I'll be quick. The only question I have, and maybe it's similar to Ms. Brisa's, we're actually charging for mileage, and we have vehicles. I'm glad that you're sending our staff to train, which is long needed, especially for the locksmith. And that was my only question. I mean, we have school cars, so if you can use them, I would appreciate it. And that's all I have. And I know that the locksmith is new, and it's important that he or she goes out and trains.
Absolutely.
That's all I have, unless the other trustees have any questions. No?
Thank you.
I move that we approve this.
Moved by Romero, second by Calderon. I'm going to do both. You're 4 and 5, H4 and 5,
No,
I think we-
approved?
We already did 4.
Okay. It's 5. H5 is moved, Romero moves to approve, second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item approved by Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. Let's go on to I, informational items. I1, superintendent report.
Well, just want to welcome everybody back to the beginning of the new school year. We will be starting school on August 22nd. Next week, we will have our welcome, our district-wide welcome back at Varner Gym. It's going to be the first time we do a district-wide welcome back in quite a few years. And so we're just very fortunate that we have Varner Gym available. And so at 8 a.m. at Varner Gym, if trustees, if you're available to come in just for a few minutes, I know that Mr. Calderon Jr. will be doing a brief welcome to the entire district as board president, but if you're available to be here, be a few minutes at 8 o'clock in the morning. I know some of you have the sexual harassment training that day. I know that I do as well. So I had to reschedule mine for that afternoon, except the afternoon one is in Spanish. But I will be doing I will be doing the sexual harassment training in Spanish and Imperial, so that I don't miss the welcome back. We've had the last 2 days packed with administrative PD here at the district office. Today we had a great speaker, which was Dr. Joe Sanfilippo, and he was just incredible. Hacking leadership. I think Mr. Castillo got to hear him as well at the county AXA event. And we're still working at enrolling students, and our staff is back at our school sites, and we're getting ready to open up the school year. I asked if we have a number of how many kids are on the system yet. We still do not have a number, but we do have a lot of requests, and what I do have from Mrs. Ramirez out of Ed Services is that we do have a lot of schools that are already at capacity in certain grade levels. So it's going to be very interesting and tight. So, and that's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Ambriz. I2, Measure V, update.
So we've had what I've asked our board. I think
Excuse me, we got Mr. Horton here now.
yeah, that's
18?
for an
All
item.
right, okay.
What I've asked is to put this item, a Measure V update item, on all of our agendas moving forward, so that we can have constant updates on what is going on with our construction. And just so to update our public, we've had 2 special board meetings recently to go over sample renderings of what the possible CHS construction and modernization could look like. Overall, however, what is proposed is 4 classroom double-story buildings for a total of 64 classrooms at Calexico High School in a multi-phase project. The rich discussion at last week's board meeting is one that needs to continue as CUSD moves forward with the Measure V construction. As such, I'm recommending that we establish a Measure V Facilities Committee, which would meet at least every 2 weeks to keep the pace marked and work at further developing the vision for the building plans. And I know that we have an item further on down in our agenda regarding Measure V.
Thank you. I3, Association comments. ACT? CACA? I4, ROP Committee?
No comment at this time. We're going to be meeting on Tuesday of next week.
Thank you, Trustee Alvarado. I5, Board Reports. These are informational reports by board members. No action is taken. Mr. Romero?
No comment.
No comment. Trustee Calderon?
Yeah, real quick, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to, I guess this is our first meeting of this school year, going back to the school year, so welcome back, everybody. Just a couple of questions. It's funny that the parent that came up a couple of minutes ago and to talk about safety for the students and with this weather. You as building administrators, principals, you are at the end of the day responsible for those students, not those teachers, not the yard supervisors. You are, and you are in charge of that school. So let's be careful out there. It's hot. And Ms. Ambriz, the superintendent, you do send those messages regarding when we reach 100 degrees and then 105 degrees and things like that, right? So let's just be careful out there when dealing with students, because the last thing we want is to find out that one of our students has suffer from heat exhaustion or things like that. So let's just be careful. Other than that, I went to the schools yesterday and the day before yesterday. I saw a lot of good things at Mainz. They were painting. That's nice. I went to Kiki Camarena. Everything was going really, really nice. So congratulations, principals. It seems like you got a handle on those things. Let's keep it flowing like that. Other than that, we'll come back to a new school year and then hope you enjoy our meeting.
Thank you, Trustee Calderon. Trustee Castillo?
Along the same lines, although our students aren't starting school yet, it is kind of the feeling of a brand new school year. So I want to welcome those that are returning, and of course those that are working year round. You know, you guys are working hard and keeping up that for our district. And again, I think as we're starting off the school year, you know, wishing everyone best of luck and support in your positions. All of you are educators, and I'm speaking from the bus driver that picks up kids in the morning, custodians who care for the safety of the kids, our classified, certainly our certificate instructional staff, administrators, principals, all of you are administrators, and even those in the district office. So you all touch the lives of children in one way or another. So as we're beginning the school year, again, wishing you the best start and continued success in that. A couple weeks ago, I had a chance also to visit several of the sites, looking at facilities, what work's being done by our employees. Again, in Maine, saw the office and workroom under construction. Staff doing a great job there. Looked at schools like Jefferson with the work being done there by our own district staff. Looked at dual school as well. Where else did we go? Rockwood. Visited several sites with district staff. So I'm very pleased at what we saw there with the remodeling, the painting, you know, the water fountains that were also installed, the water bottle stations, and all the work being done. So as we're getting ready for a school new year, you know, it's good to see that our district staff's working hard and continue to work hard, and are probably working even harder this week and next week, getting ready for day one. I think also visits. Again, I'm personally pleased at the mural that's been placed up on Mainz. That's something new. It's refreshing. I know there were some issues with that, but hearing from artists themselves, knowing the condition of the previous mural and dilapidated condition that couldn't be fixed. Talked to the artist, Frank Sasueta. He's also the artist who I think 30 years ago did 7-Eleven. And the Methodist Church right here on Blair, right? Same artist. And Mr. Sasueta Village was the resident of his parents still live there by Main School, I think about 2 blocks away, more or less. So he still has ties there, and he's now the pastor of Christ Community Church in Calexico. So I know, very thankful for the work he's done there. The mural looks sharp. I stopped by several times, as I know others did, taking pictures of its progress. And I know he's offered as well maybe some future projects for our district. A mural like that is expensive, time-consuming. So thankful for our community, his community support for our district, and I think Mainz will look good for that. So I think parents and students will be pleased. Again, professional development. Somebody's mentioned it, at least for some of the people in this room and others. Back in June, the district and the board approved several professional development and initiatives for our own employees. We heard some about hacking leadership. Some new innovative ideas, directions, plans provided by the text or the book that was provided. We got to start in June here in this room, right, with professional development provided by our own staff. We didn't have to bring somebody else in at that time to start the conversations. I know I read that book in June. All of you did, I know, and finished it. But again, today, we had a continuing conversation. I was pleased to see Dr. San Filippo come to address not only this district, but also the 200 administrators countywide, because his message was very relevant, very important, very innovative, touching that emotional side, as those of you that heard, of what our children are doing, what it means. So pleased that we're continuing with that, and also looking again at next week, continued professional development that we had approved as a board for the district, for our teachers and other employees in the district, and are welcome back. Some of those trainers are outstanding. I've worked with some of them before, so I know their caliber. So pleased to hear that. Pleased to hear Mr. Calderon addressing our whole district, representing us. So I know you'll do a good job on that. And then one thing I'm thinking about, in 2 weeks, I think our next board meeting will be after the first day of school. Certainly, you probably will already share attendance numbers. That's what I'm interested in. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Castillo. Trustee Alvarado?
Good evening. Thank you, all the ministers that showed up today. Just along the lines what Mr. Castillo stated, Mr. Frank Sasueta, wonderful job. I went out there when he was painting out in the rain. At first, I was kind of, looking at it because of the rain and stuff like that. But, I mean, after he was finished, it was something amazing, and it's something that he wants to continue. He wants to actually reach out to all the elementary schools, and I went out and I told him myself, if we can't get the money from the school district, then, I'm even willing to donate my part as far as that goes to continue this throughout the district, because it's something that's not only for our children, but also for the community. It actually beautifies everything, and that's what I want to, see out here. Other than that, just excited for the school year to start again, and whatever you guys need, we're here for you guys, and let us know. That's pretty much it.
Thank you, Trustee Alvarado. Welcome back. As far as me, I have no comments today, so we'll continue our meeting. J, action items, consideration and action approval of the following items. J1, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and the University of California for transcript evaluation services,
I move
UCTES.
to approve.
Moved by Calderon, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of the item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J2, agreement between California School Board Association and Calexico Unified School District for policy manual maintenance service.
Motion to.
Motion by Alvarado.
For J2 and J3.
One at a time.
One,
It has to be one at a
Yeah.
time. Or can we do?
you're gonna,
We
One at a
can
time.
combine. We combine. One. All right. Well, J2.
motion by Alvarado, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. In agreement with or approving the item is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J3, agreement between California School Boards Association and Calexico Unified School District to provide online access to policy, regulations, bylaws, and exhibits. I'm sorry.
Move to approve.
Moved by Calderon, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those in voting in favor of this item is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J4, agreement between Spectrum Advertising and Calexico Unified School District for video recording board meetings for the fiscal year of 2017 through 2018.
Maria, the prices didn't go up, right? They're basically staying the same.
It's 500, still the same.
Yeah, it's the same pricing as before.
It's been for
Yeah,
like
it's
2
the
or 3
average
years
is,
already?
the average is about 700 per meeting, 500 for 2 hours, and then after that, it's
Yeah.
$100 per hour.
So it hasn't changed for a
No.
couple years, so.
That's
I'll
why
move
we have to
approve.
hurry up.
Second.
Move.
Motion by Calderon, second by Alvarado. All those.
That was a question.
Okay, hold on.
Just a question before we vote. So we know pricing, do we have any data or feedback of how it's being used or number of users, any kind of data that we can say, maybe not now, but in the, in the follow-up, with that? I'm just curious as to what the viewership is, how, the usage of it
Yes,
in the future.
we can have that available.
Okay. Well, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. In favor of the item is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J5, agreement between Lori A. Hill and Calexico Unified School District for consultant services and the ELA medical or Medi-Cal billing. I have a couple of questions. I know this lady has been with us. This is going to be her 2-year. Ms. Who can?
This is her second year.
Her second year.
This will be her second year with this contract, and this will be her second year with this contract. But what we're proposing at this point is a 6-month contract, or from now till December, as we transition the new special ed director in to, as she's going to be training the
the person in transportation for transportation Medi-Cal billing and kind of transitioning the new sped director. And then at December, we'll determine if we still need to keep her on board as she's continuously training our staff to use the system Practical to continue to bill for Medi-Cal services.
And it's only for 6 months?
Yeah, or till December the
revisit it
the
December.
31st.
What earnings? I know that we were going to save money by hiring her. I guess she has,
So this year, we've been
Training.
able to bill a little over $300,000 in Medi-Cal reimbursement. So and the good thing about when you bill for Medi-Cal, you can go back 12 months. So she's going to assist us with going back even for last year to continue with, there are some participants, or they're called, not vendors, thank you, providers, that haven't utilized the system or haven't utilized it to its full capacity. So we've been, meeting with Practical and going through some different trainings where we've noticed that, and then we're going to be able to bill back for a year. So we're hoping to increase revenue. Lori did say a district our size could possibly, on an annual basis, reimburse up to $500,000 a year. So we're looking for some increase in that.
trustees, do we have any other questions for Ms. Randall? I motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Romero. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor are Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. C6, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and School City, Inc. for online data management system for 2017 through 2018 school year.
Maria, have we done this before?
No. I think we,
So
can we?
who's recommending this?
It's a different, I got some questions for you, Mr.
This is a yearly renewal, so I think this is our second year with this, if I'm not mistaken. It is an online data management system. It assists the sites in reviewing, analyzing, and formatting and outputting assessment and other student achievement data. The intent is to use the program to assist in the development of formative and other benchmark assessments. If approved, it will be our second year with this program. It replaced our former program, which was Data Director, which was an outdated data platform at the time that we phased it out. This would be a $65,000 plus agreement, and it would be under LCAP goal number 2, action 6.
So it's just replacing one system?
Yes, it replaced the system last year, and so this is the second year with it.
Okay. I just have one question. Has this actually been shared with teachers and administrators? Because it has?
Yes.
Okay. Then I motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Voting in favor are Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J7, renewal of agreement between Calexico Unified School District and document tracking services for licensing and other services related to a single plan of student achievement and LCAP for 2017 through 2018 school year.
I move to approve.
Moved by Calderon, second by Calderon Jr. Oh, you have a question?
Just a quick question. So you're talking about the document transfers, so we're using it for SPSA, LCAP, school safety plan, anything else? Other district plans? There's a bullying module? So right now specifically for SPSA?
We specifically use it for SPSAs. The LCAP, I don't have it on there because they did inform us that it might change the template. But now that I have the newer template, we're gonna work with them to see if they can upload it. But I still have the Word version just to make sure I don't lose any information.
But if you want to use other templates, there's no extra charges, right?
No,
So everything is,
they have other options in there. I think the only additional charge is they want to translate.
oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Any other questions, trustees? Well, Calderon motion, I'll second. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J8, service agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Bright Bites, Inc. for the years of 2017 to 2018 school year for data analytic platform which measures and links technology use in education to learning outcomes.
Any questions?
Again, has this been shared with our staff, teachers, administrators, and so forth? Because that's who's going to be using it.
Okay. I will defer that question to Mr. Padilla. But it is a program that is geared to determining whether our programs are being accessed through Chromebooks, if they have Chromebooks, if they're being accessed, they're being used, and how we can improve access to improve the program use.
No, at this point, it hasn't been shared with teachers. We've been talking among here, the district office. It was my recommendation. It was something that I've been looking and researching for some time. But I wanted to really bring a program that would help us analyze and really tell us if what we're using, it's working. So it's a comprehensive system with different multiple measures to tell us this is something that you have. Is it working? And if it's not working, why it's working? I mean, what steps you need to take so that it does work for you, or is it recommended that you no longer purchase it? So it's really kind of protecting our investments. We purchase a lot in technology, and predominantly that's what we're looking at, saying, you know what, we're making all these huge investments. What's working for us? What's not? And what can we correct for those things that are not? And then maybe make wise choices in what things we keep with technology and what things we move forward with.
Trustees, do you have any other questions? No. Motion by Alvarado, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J9, contract between Calexico Unified School District and After School Unlimited for continual professional development services and expanded learning programs, ACES staff.
Any questions on this item?
Oh, I do have a couple of questions. I know that this program was implemented in 2 of our sites, correct?
Yes, Brockwood and Cesar Chavez
Cesar Chavez.
received additional professional development, and it was very marked difference. You can speak to the principals here. The student engagement, usually at the end of the school year, attendance drops. You know, kids are tired, staff is tired, everybody's tired. They don't want to stay after school anymore. But we had improved attendance at the end of the school year, which is not common. And so we would like to extend that to other sites and continue the work that we started.
Okay. The question I have, we already have 2 schools. We're paying, what, 161,000 plus? And my question is, I know that you want to bring in other schools to this program. Does that money cover those other schools?
It does.
And what schools are they?
So the way that we wrote that, we kind of, when I talked to the consultant, is we've included professional development for the entire, all of the sites, all of the staff. They would get, so at the beginning of the school year, they would get, those that have already attended her training, they would get a refresher. All of the new staff would get her Asset 1 and Asset 2 so that we start the school year, everybody knows exactly what our plan for behavior management and what is expected. Every school site would receive observation, coaching, and feedback from me and the consultant, and then we would provide the Asset 1 and Asset 2 to new staff, because we do have turnover in after school. You know, we employ a lot of college students. Some of them start subbing and then they can't continue in after school. We get new staff so that everybody gets trained before they start working with the students.
Could we look into like Maines or Lance Charles? Since
Yes.
we already have something.
Yeah, I will have, once the coordinators are hired, we'll have a conversation with all of them. We will continue the first 6 months, or until December, we will continue just refreshing those 2 sites that we started work with, and then in January, we'll bring 2 additional sites, and it will be kind of a who's got the funding, principal support, coordinator support, so that we can bring 2 more. But with the work we're doing, even if they're not chosen as a premier site, they're still getting the support. They're still getting a lot of the training, and then we'll just it's a lot of extra work, a lot of extra hours for the staff. This is not very common in after school. A lot of times, they just, you're hired, go work with the kids. Good luck. So we want to change that, and this is becoming a more professional program, professional staff. We have standards. We're having, changing the expectations of our program, And this all just helps. And then if you do approve,
Bless you.
then our first training would be this weekend. So you're welcome to attend. I really, really recommend it.
All right. Well, I motion to approve unless you
No,
have any.
quick question.
Second by Alvarado.
Quick
All those-
question here. Not to put you on the spot.
No,
relax.
go ahead. I'm less nervous now, so go ahead.
Again, I think you saw there's comments just regarding the cost, and it's a lot of money, but it's coming from ACES or assets, I know. And if it's making a difference, okay. I guess my question I always have is as simple as so what? So what difference is this going to make for our kids in our school, on our after-school programs? What difference did it make, again, in April or at the end of last school year? And you don't have to answer now. You may not have the answer or the data. You know, I'm looking for what difference did it make in our program last year? What data do we have that we can look at? And then, of course, you've already talked about how it can potentially impact this coming school year.
I'll gather the data for you. The consultant, when she came in, before she started the training, she took video of what we saw, you know, what was happening at Cesar Chavez and Rockwood. In June, she took video again. And just the, the difference, when you walk onto a school site, the vibe you get was totally transformed at both sites. And you are getting kids that are singing. So they're walking down the hallway, and I'll email you the link or the video. You have kids that are walking down the hallways singing, chanting, doing. She focuses on collaborative and communicative play. One of the district goals is improving English language development, and so this, with all the singing and the chanting, and there's some wordplay in there as well that she teaches. It helps to develop language, English language, and then it's just a more fun experience.
And yeah, I'd just be interested in more qualitative and quantitative
We'll get that for you.
later on. Yeah.
Yes, and you're more than welcome to, come over and see if you're interested for your ACES.
Thank you. I motion to approve.
I second that.
Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J10, Memorandum of Understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Mission School for scope of service and product to be provided under Title I, Part A, Title II, Part A, Title III, and Title IV.
I move to approve.
I have a
Second.
couple of questions. I know that we don't know yet, but I'm sure that this is going to have an impact on our general fund,
No,
right? No?
No.
this is all title, the categorical funding. And what what J10 and J11 are and J12 are,
All the way to.
yeah,
To
they're memorandums of understanding, basically because they now have an advocate that makes sure that the private
That
schools
they're-
are getting
right.
their categorical funding and or professional development through their categoricals. And what they want to do, it was recommended to them that they memorialize the services, and it's part of what would go under our audits for FPM, et cetera, for our federal program monitoring. And so therefore, it's important that the services and the funding be memorialized in a memorandum of understanding between the district and said parochial schools and or other private schools.
Correct.
Trustees, do you have any questions?
Would the board consider a single motion for J9 through J,
Well,
I
J10
thought
to
was-
J15.
as they're all the same?
Yeah, well, I would-
Yeah.
Well,
They're being modified.
Considering that I need to leave, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we didn't allow Trustee Alvarado to do that earlier, but
Oh, we've done it before. So
yes,
so-
yes, I'm sorry. So the motion is to include J10 through
J15,
15.
and I'll second that,
Second,
the motion.
second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting on all these items are Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. So
So now you go to 16.
16. There you go.
And this is an MOU between CU, I'm sorry.
Okay. J16, Memorandum of Understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Office of Education Support Services, Department for Nursing/LVN Services, 2017-2018 fiscal year.
I move we approve.
Moved by Romero, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J17, Memorandum of Understanding between Calexico Unified School District and ICBHS Youth and Alcohol and Drug Counseling for 2017-2018 fiscal year. I motion to approve. Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J18, discussion and direction regarding options of use of Measure V bond funds. And we have request for oral communication. It's Mr. Horton. You can-
Good evening. The reason I'm coming up here is in reference to the Measure V Oversight Committee. Daniel Romero, the chairman, and we have one other member of the committee here also. We're urging the board to move forward because there's certain things and there's certain protocols which we had a special meeting. It was discussed, a lot of it there. We're hoping that you will move forward so you can have the locations where they're going to be put in the building so the principal can start deciding how they're going to work everything out with the students. And we're talking about the safety, and also there's certain protocols that have to be in place in order to get in line for the money. And I'm hoping that this board would look at that and move forward with the discussions to start formalizing the locations. Thank you very much. Also, before I forget, also to consider the idea of the project manager for the project for the Measure V in reference to what we're going to be doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Horton. Trustees?
Well, I see that they have plans and everything, or pictures and things like that. However, that doesn't mean that those are the final drawings. Does it
Yes.
mean that they're final drawings?
No,
No.
no.
Okay, so there's just a mock-up to more like a conceptual, there we go, yes. So, but yes, like Mr. Horton says, we need to, there's deadlines that we have to meet, so, I agree with Mr. Horton, we need to move forward and start the process when using those funds.
Okay, at the last meeting, we were talking about different locations for the buildings. When are we going to make a decision?
Part of what I had suggested in my report earlier was that we do have a facilities committee that meets every 2 weeks, so we can start discussing that. We want to have at least 2 board members on that committee so that can be a part of the conversation. And obviously, all of you could attend there as long as you're not voting anything. And then so that when we bring the items back to future meetings on the board as a whole decides on the locations and, approves the final renderings of as it gets developed.
Yeah, who do you propose to be on the committee besides the 2 board members? I mean, what members of the public, principal, teachers?
We would have staff members. We would have members, obviously, from the Measure V committee itself, and then do members of the community in general. And I would even recommend that we have students as a part of the committee. And it would be a commitment of every couple of weeks. And I'm recommending a Monday because that's the day that doesn't get interfered with most of the time. And for an hour and a half every other Monday. And so that I want to send that to you guys in a more formal proposal so that you can consider that and then decide who would be the 2 board members that would commit to being there, although all 5 of you obviously could be there, knowing that the other 3 wouldn't be voting at the committee itself.
So I'm in agreement as well, moving forward with the plans and the direction as we've heard from our community and from our bond. We even know that other districts are moving forward with their bond issues, Central with their new technology building, Imperial with Cross Elementary, right?
Imperial
Ready
Cross.
to break ground pretty soon. And we need to do the same, again, appropriate use of the bond measure. One thing I did see as I was visiting schools, looking at the school safety, as some of you attended the conference, making sure our buildings are safe for kids, but also also really liked what they had at Willie Moreno, with the lockdown system. So if that's something to consider, or maybe that can be shared later. Real automated system for lockdowns, security of the school, students and staff. So as we're proceeding, we'd like to look at school safety in this new construction.
Thank you. I'd like to recommend that we start looking for a project manager. I know today we have a position that exists already in our district, which is facility planner, and I think we should get on that too, so we can start planning and.
Well, I think you need to go out to bid and request that someone, you hire someone, not employee, but contractual employee.
Yeah, one of the reasons why we haven't gone with a project manager, for example, is, well, we hadn't formalized what direction we're going in, but now that we know what direction we're going in, and once we have the everything going in the right direction, then now it's where we start going with a request for qualifications, an RFQ.
Right, we possibly could, and just in speaking with Esther in regards to that, since we have a classified position, then that might not be a direction we can go. We might have to fly and employ an employee for that position. So we'll have to work with the Personnel Commission to just verify how we can, if we can contract out the work and or if we have to fill the vacancy of the position. So we'll get some further information to the board on that particular item.
All right. Any other questions, board members?
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, I motion to approve. Actually, no. I mean, discussion, I'm sorry.
Direction.
Direction. Well, I motion to, direct Maria to go continue with the Measure V project, and hopefully we can get through this. We got to get on the lines for this added money that is out there.
At
Yes.
this point in time, it's too early. I mean, we got the money when did we receive the money? In April? We only had 3 months
No,
to
but the
send,
states- he's
so
talking about the states
we're
matching,
okay.
right?
Yeah. Yeah,
No, he's
we
talking
have
about-
to get on
We'll
the
work
timeline.
with all of the
Yeah, you still
timelines.
lose it.
Well, I think most important, we need a schedule so we all know where we're at and what deadlines we
So
have.
Maria, so with this, what is the next step then? We're giving you direction to continue with this, so what will be the next step? So what do we expect to have in the next board meeting?
So at the next board meeting, as a result of the previous board meeting, Jimmy Sanders' staff was here, and they heard some of the conversation and the possible direction. So we'll give them the go-ahead to start putting some renderings or some things together. In addition to, we will go ahead and send and do an invite to our community, so that, and I think you as a board have to vote to who's going to sit on the committee. So we'll start working to establish the committee, the dates, like the superintendent mentioned, Mondays or every other Monday or something like that, a committee date, and we'll establish the committee, and then we'll start taking a look at the renderings from Sanders's office, in addition to input and from the principal, community, students, that kind of stuff, and we'll just start every other week. We'll discuss, okay, this is an idea. We can put 2 buildings in the front, one in the front, just kind of the conversation that happened at that last meeting and what would be physically feasible based on, the conversations that we've had at those 2 special board meetings. So but next steps would be have Sanders start working on the conversation, visualize the conversation that we had, and then start establishing the committee. And I would anticipate that at the next meeting, the board would then decide, does the every other Monday work, and then what 2 board members will sit on the Measure V construction committee or something like that. So that's my idea of what next steps will be.
So are we all in agreement with it?
Yeah.
We're good?
So for the next board meeting, Sandra's gonna be here to present.
He should be here, and we'll,
Plan A, B, and C.
hopefully, if not, that'll be something that'll be in the committee. So I'll have to, since we're just gonna give him the green light probably tomorrow, that start looking at some of the conversation pieces, and maybe he can give us something preliminary, something like, if you put 2 buildings in the front, this is what it could look like, or 1 building, that maybe something very, not necessarily generic, but that's not really very detailed something, but he can provide us with some information based on the conversation that was had at the previous special board meeting.
Okay, any other question? All right, we're good. J19, change your order of additional costs to landmarks for professional service inspections for Calexico High School pool facility.
And we're going to ask, Ms. Randall has asked that this item be pulled?
Correct. So there's a little bit of misconception on this item. I was given a little information that is not correct. So just so that everyone knows, we don't owe Landmark $26,000. That all the fees for the inspection of the pool have been paid. So this item really should not be on the agenda tonight. The information that was provided to me was that we owed $26,000. So of course, I said, well, put it on the agenda. So all fees have been paid. The pool project is done. And I wasn't here on Monday. I had a family issue. So before the agenda posted, and then when I did my research and I'm like, why is this on the agenda? And so this item, there is no action to be taken. All fees have been paid. There is no additional $26,000 due to Landmark.
When were they paid?
It is on the agenda, so if this action to be taken is for somebody to, a motion to not pay
Well,
this item.
just pull it.
Can we just
Yeah,
pull
we
it?
can just pull it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have one question for you.
Sure.
I know that this Landmark company did a lot of inspections. Can't they inspect to see what's causing the algae in our pool?
You know what? That's a great question, and I'm sure that they probably could. If that would be a directive of the board, we can certainly have them come out and have them do an inspection. Oh, is it I'm sorry, okay, yeah.
But
Or
they
maybe
test-
an inspector.
they
We do
test-
have an inspector, what's his name?
Heartline.
Heartline. I don't know if there are so many levels to inspections. You know, you had your level 1, 2, 3, and 4. We can find out if that's a service that they would provide. I can do that if the board would like for me to do that.
What I'm getting, because I was reading the comments, and they actually were inspecting the plaster, the rebar, everything that went into that pool. So if anyone would know, they would know.
And again, that's certainly something we can find out. I can call them and get a quote to see, and have them come out if that be the direction of the board.
We just don't want to pay anymore.
I know. True. Okay, so if this item can be
So it's being pulled.
pulled.
J19 is being pulled?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. J20, notice of completion of Calexico High School Varner Gym Modernization Phase 1 project.
Just quickly, another one. Do you need a motion to pull it?
No, I don't. Do we know? No? J20. I have some questions on this.
Okay.
I have a question. Have we met with the school principal and staff to see if everything was completed in the gyms?
I haven't formally met with them, but I haven't been made aware of any issues about the gym. Has there been any issues?
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think it's important.
I understand it's important, but no, we did the punch list and everything was complete as per the scope of work that was contracted out. As far as any warranty items, any of those issues that came up, we've already worked through those or are working through those. For instance, the HVAC units up there are giving us problems, so we're working with VIX air conditioning to remedy those issues. So as far as meeting with staff, I have not done that, no.
And the reason is because someone called me and said that in this last rain, the gym leaked.
Leaks again?
Yeah, so I'm concerned because once we sign off, then we sign off.
We still have a
Yeah.
year warranty on everything that was touched with that gym. My concern with that is that they're calling the wrong person. They should be calling me.
I understand that. But part of it is also collaborating with everybody, going to talk to the principal and their staffers to see if everything's okay before we bring this to the board.
Right. Well, I mean, this is to, we still have to pay them their withholdings. We are granted a 1-year warranty on there, like I said, everything that's touched on that gym. So if it were to leak, we can't withhold their payments or
Well,
retention
I
payment
understand
for a
that, yeah.
year. So
I just want to make sure that everything's checked before we sign the check.
right.
Has that been remedied already, Jeremy, the leaks?
Delete. I mean, I'm just now hearing about it.
Yeah.
So
I move that we pull this item until we discover whether it did leak or not, and bring it up at the next meeting.
Can we hold on till next meeting? And you can meet with Ms. Williams and her staff to see if everything's okay?
if that's the will of the board.
Okay, so that would be J20 and J21, correct?
Yes.
So you're
Alright.
pulling 20.
J20, pull J20, J21.
Well,
Tabling,
Table it,
yes,
sorry.
tabling.
So make
Okay.
the motion.
Thank you.
Make the motion.
That's the motion to table J20 and
Motion,
J21.
motion by Romero, second by Calderon. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
In favor of the motion, the item is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. No, it was Calderon, yeah. J22, authorization to seek proposals for DSA required repairs for Cesar Chavez Elementary certification site plan.
So when the construction was completed 10 years ago, I suppose, it's required that a notice of completion be submitted to the county recorder's office. Back then, it was not completed. It was not closed out. We don't know why, other than maybe whoever the inspector was or quit, or we don't know. But now DSA, as it's catching up to its closeout projects, is requiring that the Cesar Chavez Elementary School project be closed out. In order to do so, there have been some areas that have been identified that need to be repaired or upgraded in order to officially be able to close out this construction project. I know that Trustee Ciro Calderon came to ask me some questions specifically about this item. And one of the things that he asked was, is there some sort of a grandfather? If are the things that are needed to be done now, did they needed to be done back then? And so I spoke with Jeremy, and he was also told that had it been closed out back then, it would not have been able to pass, even back then. There are some issues in the restrooms, correct, Jeremy, where things are off by 1 inch in any direction. And so Mr. Nielsen he got an estimate quote just to see ballpark what it would cost to make the repairs on the DSA required repairs in order to close out the project. And he was given a quote of about $54,000 plus or minus. So that's one of the reasons we'd like to seek proposals to see if there's anything less expensive, et cetera. And we're requesting that the board approve us seeking proposals for this. The fiscal impact would be unknown, obviously, but he was given a ballpark figure of about $54,000.
Who's the inspector?
Who's the inspector?
I know the ones you've been using is Hardline.
Hardline.
That's correct. He's the level 1 DSA inspector for the Imperial Valley. This type of work, not sure if it's going to require a level 1. I don't think it is, but
I mean, still, who was responsible for this oversight?
oh, during the construction, I have no idea.
This is
That's
10
10
years
years ago.
We gotta find out. We have the records. We could find out who's responsible.
Well, I mean, we could.
I
I'm
mean,
sure.
if it was Hardline, I don't want to use him again.
No, it wasn't Hardline. So, again, 10 years ago, for whatever reason, whether the DSA inspector quit, was fired, or died, didn't complete the job, and the architect at that time didn't see the need to fill that position. So they went ahead and finished the project without having DSA closeout. We did get lucky with Cesar Chavez. We were able to complete 2 projects there since, which we shouldn't have been able to. We put up shade structures and we put up that portable classroom.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. These inspectors don't work for DSA. They're certified by DSA.
They are they work for us.
They work for us, but they're not. Yeah, they do
and
not work for DSA.
They do work for DSA.
Well, I talked to other school districts in San Diego, and supposedly they're just certified by DSA.
Right, they report to DSA. I mean, they don't get a paycheck from DSA.
Yeah.
They get paid by us.
So there are contractors.
Correct.
Are there any other contractors DSA certified in the valley besides Hardline?
We have one other gentleman that's level 2.
So we just, I think we approved a vendor, maybe about 2-3 months ago, someone sent us a letter and said, I am DSA certified. I live in, I think, the Coachella Valley. So we gave him the appropriate how to become a approved vendor of the district, and he is a level 2 certified vendor, and he is an approved district vendor at this point in time. So yes, we do have 2. It's just a matter of depending on what DSA says, you need a level 1, 2, 3, 4 inspector, and that's how we would gauge who we would, list to
Yeah, but
to
that's
do the
our,
work.
that's our decision.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is
Because I
correct.
keep hearing from people, oh, no, they work for, they work for DSA. No.
They're
not
certified
They're not
by-
DSA employees.
No, they're not.
They're authorized contractors for DSA.
That is correct, and DSA determines the level of what certification is required to inspect a project.
Well,
And there is a timeline on this one, correct?
Correct. November.
well, regardless of whichever way we go, if we need to do this, we need to do this, but also, I would like for the district to find out what happened and who's responsible that this did not get completed.
We
Who was
could,
the architect?
we'll look to see
Just
who
trying
the,
to, like, trying to find out what happened with Measure J. It's the same thing.
Ultimately, the responsibility at that time would have laid on the architect,
Well, who was the architect?
whoever built.
It's right there.
Yeah,
It
we'll
has
have
a-
to see.
It has a
I don't
flag.
know who it is.
It has a flag. The school has a flag. It says the architect.
Okay,
He's a coppinsmith.
He says, yeah, I don't know, I
Who?
haven't,
Go
Coppinsmith.
get
I don't know.
Right now.
They're retired. They're gone.
Yeah.
What?
They-
Can we,
Yeah,
well,
that's-
no,
that's
they
what
All
don't.
I
right.
don't know.
When you find them, let us know. All right.
We'll go look for Jeremy, let's go on it.
So
No,
they're no longer in practice?
They're no longer in practice now,
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah.
as far as I know.
Yeah.
They did the,
Okay.
they did the city hall
Oh, okay.
and collect school.
All right.
So with regards to J22, is there a
Yeah.
move to do something?
I move that we,
I move to approve.
yeah.
Second.
Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. Thank you, Jeremy.
Still, go give me that.
When you find them, let me know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. J23, approval of new course or proposal, agricultural integrated science for 2017-2018 school year.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Calderon, second by Romero. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor are Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J24, resolution requesting the Personnel Commission to designate classified management and supervisor position exempt from overtime.
And Maria, according to what you and Carlos, Mr. Gonzalez, according to what you have done, a lot of other districts in the county do the same thing, right?
Central Baldwin.
Good evening, trustees. Yes, Mr. Calderon, and in fact, in the resolution, that is stated as well.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I move that we approve resolution.
What? It's a roll call. Go ahead.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
I move that we
approved
approve
and-
the resolution.
Second by
Calderon.
Calderon. Romero,
Aye.
Calderon,
Aye.
Castillo. No. Alvarado,
Yes.
Calderon Jr., yes. Motion passes. J25, resolution regarding disposition of surplus assets and non-asset custodial and HVAC equipment at M&O.
I move we approve.
will
I
sec-
do have one question for Jeremy.
I will second with a motion.
Yeah.
But, I will second with a comment.
Yes. This equipment that we're getting rid of, is it not working at all? It just, or you replaced it with newer equipment?
That's correct. We typically will hang on to stuff as long as we possibly can. And when it quits working and it's beyond repair, then we decide to surplus it. In my time here, I haven't thrown away anything that's operable, that's still good, so.
Okay, thank you.
Surplus
go-
it or take it to the recyclers?
Well, recycling, but it's still considered surplus, if I'm not,
Surplus,
yeah.
okay. All right.
Thank you. Any other question for Mr. Nelson? No? It's a resolution, Romero,
Yes.
Calderon,
Yes.
Castillo, Alvarado,
Yes.
Calderon Jr.? Yes. Motion passes. J26, resolution authorizing assignment of teachers outside major for 2017-2018 school year.
I move we approve.
Second by Calderon Jr. Roll call. Romero?
Yes.
Calderon?
Yes.
Castillo? Alvarado?
Yes.
Calderon Jr., yes. Motion passes. J-
27 doesn't say
What?
if it's a resolution or motion,
It is a resolution, correct?
but it doesn't say. J27.
27.
27.
It's assignment also outside. No?
No, that one would not be a resolution, that would be a vote.
A vote? Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't say, so. Okay.
I move we approve.
I'll second.
Moved by Romero, second by Calderon. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion approved by Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J28, provisional internship permit for Jennifer Mesa for school year 2017-2018 school year. I motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J29, provisional internship permit for Jennifer Chu Pina for 2017-2018 school year. Motion by Alvarado,
Second.
second by Calderon. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved by Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J30th, account payable pre-list. Do we have any questions?
I move we approve.
Moved by Romero.
The 17,
That's
right?
the amendment? The addendum?
With addendum.
Second by
Mike Castillo.
Castillo. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J31, certificated employment report.
And we're going to recommend trustees the following recommended candidates to the position of assistant principal at Calexico High School, Mr. Pierre Sawaya. For the position of the biology teacher at Calexico High School, Mr. Gentry Tyler. And for the position of science at Enrique Camarena Junior High School, Karen Chang.
So moved.
Moved by Romero.
Second.
Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. J32, classified employment report.
I move to approve.
Moved by Calderon, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor are Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. K, reconvene to earliest closed session. We're not going back. Reconvene to open session. We're not. M, announcement of action taken in closed session. None. Do we have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion.
Motion by Alvarado, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. In favor of ending this meeting tonight is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming and putting up with us. Thank you.